Today we're going to be talking about different side hustles that you can do on the side to earn you extra income. This video is definitely geared towards the younger people, and this topic was requested by a YouTube viewer by the name of Edgar Danish. I hope he's a subscriber too, but here's to you, Edgar. Now, first and foremost, there's so many videos, pieces of content on websites and YouTube on how to start side hustles, and there's tons of resources on it already. So I was a little surprised that you asked me this, but I guess you want, in my opinion, from someone who's maybe tried out a bunch of them already. I've also written articles on my blog on different things I've tried and what I liked and what I didn't about them, such as Amazon FBA. I actually even did a vlog on that, and a bunch of other things as well. So where do you start? What do you do? And I guess really what I want to tell you is I want to point you in the right direction of other experts and other research and other YouTubers and resources, so you can get started or at least move in the right direction from some experts. You can even find stuff on TikTok now. There's even Side Hustle Kings on TikTok that you can follow. But I think the first thing that you really want to consider, and this is something that I've learned the hard way and I continue to learn the hard way, is that don't start by chasing the money. Start by choosing stuff you're passionate around and then start testing in there. Now, you may find that, okay, certain passions, yeah, there really just isn't much money in them no matter how you slice and dice it. I would say that's part of it. But sometimes if you go the other route and you just straight up pursue the money, you're probably going to quit after a short time because it takes a lot of work and you're going to not enjoy it. So I think a certain level of passion is important, and there may be a middle ground sometimes, or maybe you may just find, I really enjoyed this and man, it makes a lot of money. It won't always happen like that, but you also have to have realistic mindsets and expectations coming in. Most of the time you're going to start something and it's really not going to explode. It may be a small trickle that over months, years, you pull and you weed out and it turns into something greater. I've also done video interviews, podcast interviews with people who have made a lot of money. Alex Fasulo is one of them. Made a lot of money off Fiverr, and Fiverr is basically this large marketplace where you could offer a variety of digital skills, and she makes like $300,000 a year, but that's what she does, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you should do the same thing. So that's what I want to caution before I get into certain actual things that you want to consider, a list of ideas and stuff. Another thing that you want to consider is actually what can you actually fit into your schedule, and what can you actually do and learn that you would enjoy. You may not have the skills now, but do you have the potential of developing those skills over time? And then last thing is, and this one's contrarian, most people have been telling you for the last 20 years, or at least the last 10, 15 years, that digital is the way to go. That digital is where the money is at, that you have to make your side hustle online. And I think now the scales are starting to tip where everyone's focused on digital and the opportunity, the less competition. Some of that stuff is sometimes in the traditional world where you're not using a computer or phone for most of those transactions. So just keep that in mind. Check your bias towards digital, because sometimes that's still the right way to go, and there's still a lot of lucrative opportunities there, but sometimes it might be best suited to just find a brick and mortar side hustle of some sort. So there's a lot of opportunities. One person who's doing a lot of videos where he just lists like 10 business ideas is someone called Noah Kagan. I followed him for years. He is a ex-employee at Facebook, Mint.com, and a few other companies. He actually started at Facebook with less than 50 employees, and he's now built a successful 8-figure business, AppSumo. So he's been in this game for a while, and he even has courses and resources on starting and validating a business idea. So he has a whole YouTube channel and a blog that you should follow, because there's a lot of great advice that he has. He'll even just throw up like 10 new business ideas, or 5 new business ideas, or 3 new business ideas in YouTube videos. So there's a lot of things that you can start from there if you want ideas. And other than that, you have Pat Flynn of Smart Passive Income. I've followed him for even longer. Great guy, very knowledgeable. He's made millions upon millions of dollars helping others start businesses or side hustles online usually. But he also interacts with the physical world too. He's sold a kind of product where it's called a flip switch or flip pod or something like that, but it basically holds a camera for you in an innovative way, and then when you release, it turns into a tripod. So I think it's called the switch pod, but he's very experienced in both worlds. He's sold physical products. He's done and interviewed pretty much everyone under the sun who's started a business. I mean, he's interviewed people who's done Amazon FBA, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, e-products, and he's done most of those things himself and made money from them. So, his podcast is a large resource of like hundreds of episodes of all these experts who have made their money in different ways that you can follow. And so you can get a lot of ideas from him as well. And then, now you probably just want my own thoughts. Well, I will say that, first off, theory is not everything. I used to watch every episode of Pat Flynn stuff, and hundreds of episodes later, I was still kind of struggling. So not just getting ideas and knowledge, that's only part of it. Part of it's also taking action. For me, I've tried a lot of things, and ultimately, I think it comes down to, are they working, or am I enjoying them? And sometimes you just have to try it to see. For Amazon FBA, at least the one I did, where I would go to Kmart, Target, stuff like that, and scan their clearance aisle sections, I found that, at least in my area, there was nothing but junk. So I couldn't really flip anything, and it didn't work for me. And so it was a fail for me. But that was just me and based off my area. And I realized I didn't really enjoy it that much. It was a lot of work for very little yield. And so that was just a matter of circumstance. Plus, I found I'm someone who really enjoys the passion of what I do. So, I tried a bunch of other things. And there's, just to give you a few other ideas, I tried out Fiverr. After I interviewed Alex Fasulo, I thought it'd be a nice little side project to see what I could do on Fiverr. For me, there's a lot of different gigs you can do on there: graphic design, voiceovers, SEO work, writing. That's how Alex made her money. And for me, I tried copywriting. And it was mostly copywriting that I charged for, and a little bit of like social media teardown and advice, but mostly copywriting. And I've been getting a trickle. I probably made about $500 revenue, not profit. I think they take about 20% off of that. And it was good, but I knew that took me about like 6 months, and I only got a trickle. And I know if I put the foot on the pedal and sent out more buyer requests, I could have got more. But I knew the passion really wasn't there, so I didn't want to put the foot down. It's a lot of me sussing out the passion. There's all sorts of other things. Gary Vaynerchuk has a series called Trash Talk on YouTube, where he goes to garage sales around the area, and then he buys stuff and flips them. This is something I still do on occasion for fun, but it's a lot of work, and you need to have such a wide breadth and depth of knowledge on what things sell for, and you have to get used to using eBay and doing that. And you might go to a bunch and there's nothing there, so it can get somewhat draining, especially in the heat, in the summertime heat. So it's still something I'll do, but I found like I don't like having inventory of junk in my room, sometimes smelly used junk that doesn't sell for 3-6 months. So there's that. And then in terms of passion, another thing that I found was, buying and reselling Pokemon cards mostly. I have a few Yu-Gi-Oh cards too, but that's still something I will invest in and do. But it's something that I dove into. I watched hundreds of videos on, and I tried out, and it's really, I found, a bit more of a gamble than I like. a lot of things did not increase in value that I bought. Case in point, like most of these cards I cannot resell. So there's that as a vulnerability. And then you know, I'm even a member of SM Pratt, a famous, or not famous, but like a respected Pokemon collectors Patreon group, and I'm still investing in cards, but basically I'm just holding them for the long term. It's not really a sustainable, predictable, controllable business for me, especially with everyone trying to do that now. So I'm just basically holding a lot of stuff, and it's not an active pursuit. So as you can see, I'm testing out and trying a lot of things around my interests, around Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and you know, reselling stuff. And that's how I kind of have tried and sometimes failed and succeeded at stuff. But there's so many things you can do, and you'll go down rabbit holes on YouTube and elsewhere if I just point you in the right direction. Let's say it really depends on your interests and what you want to cover. There's drop shipping. There's tons of people who's trying to sell you courses and ads on starting your own online business, and you know, building it to something. You know, there's people trying to sell you on how to make ebooks and then turn those into profit on Amazon, and then make audiobook versions of that. And I will say that, like, there is a healthy dose of skepticism from people, but I do think that you don't necessarily need to buy some $10,000 course or $500 course to really get underway. Sometimes it can help a lot, but sometimes a lot of things you can just start for free. And so I think the skepticism there is for a reason. Not all of it is bad. You know, sometimes those courses do help. I have bought courses from Pat Flynn and elsewhere, but sometimes, like with the trash talk thing with the garage selling, Gary is putting out that content for free. There is no course for sale, and you don't need any course for sale. There's free YouTube content. Reezy Resales is another one. You take that in, you use it, you try it out, you start getting some momentum, you start building money, and then from there, maybe once you're established and you're generating thousands a month, then you can start to build off there. I think there's plenty of resources that you can just skim through, like Pat Flynn's podcast directory, or even just go to Fiverr.com and look through the marketplace. There are hundreds, thousands of categories of things that you can sell on there, and it may spark some ideas. Maybe you like music production and you start selling sample beats, or maybe you like graphic design and you start creating logos for someone. Or maybe it's not digital and you want to say, hey, digital is kind of oversaturated right now. Let's try something else. And you end up doing something like I did, where on the side, I had a second job at an escape room. And, you know, overall, I loved it. I loved the experience because I love escape rooms. And they're like puzzles. And for me to be able to relive that experience and teach other people about it, that was really fun. And you learn things too, like certain jobs are not scalable. And I knew that coming in, but I still wanted to test it out, see where it would lead. It didn't end up leading anywhere yet, but I had, you know, at least 100 hours of experience running escape rooms, seeing how that business operates inside, running it as a game master. And, you know, not everything's going to be peachy. Even though I loved that job overall, there's stuff that I didn't like about that job. A lot of well, some people were really nice. Some were immature kids that I had to work with. And so you learn things. And that's a job, that's a minimum wage job. It's not scalable. Unlike something like a e-product, which the more people who buy from it, the more money you make, even if you put in the same work. So looking for that could be helpful. Generally speaking, businesses tend to make the most money if you can turn it into something successful because it is scalable versus a dollars per hour situation. So there's all sorts of things that you can try out, but it's really up to you and where your passions lie and what you think you could be pretty good at. There's tons of ideas. Hopefully some of these things will point you in the right direction. I will say for me, the main thing I've settled on right now is growing this YouTube channel, growing my blog, and growing my email list. And I'm currently selling a few products and testing out new products to to grow my income. Right now, it's a trickle. You know, the personal brands I've built on the web has yielded some money, but it's been a small trickle. It's nothing really significant or sustainable yet. But people are starting to trust my work and buy on rare occasion. Some of the things I do promote are masterclass.com. I think it's one of the few self-learning personal development products that has a great price and great high production, valuable content. And so what I do is I sign up for the affiliate program, and in some of my articles and my videos here, I'll say, hey, if you want to try out masterclass.com, go to willyoulaugh.com/masterclass, and each time someone buys, I get a small commission off of that. I've also tried rolling out my own e-products and e-courses. So I have a productivity course, I have a speed learning course, and those are courses I made myself that you can purchase for affordable prices. Link in the description. It's in my resources page. And those are things that you can also do. You could build your own personal brand, social media following off a hobby that you like. And I really like personal development. And I've chosen to stay this lane in all my other side hobbies rather than creating other personal brands for it. I don't have the time for that, so I've just mushed them all into one. And that's how I've done things, but there's all sorts of different ways. I know someone who started a sticker business. She would draw stickers, and then people would buy them, and she'd ship them out. And these were kind of like cutesy cartoon stickers of like hamsters and pets and dogs and stuff. And she's made a decent side income off of that. It's a lot of work, but she enjoys doing that stuff. And yeah, she's made some money off of that. So there's all sorts of things that you can try and start. Check out smartpassiveincome.com. Check out okdork.com. Even check out my own website. See what I'm selling. See what I'm doing. And maybe you can get some gears turning. Like I said, it doesn't have to be something massive. There's all sorts of side hustles that you can start. I even did Instacart for a while because there was a time when the pandemic hit and you could earn like $20 an hour just delivering groceries. So all sorts of things that you can start. You could do Uber, DoorDash, but you know, all those factors could weigh into it. Do you want something scalable? Do you want something you can enjoy? Or do you want something that just makes you money? Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed.